What if I told you that there's a book so dangerous, so powerful, that it was nearly erased from history? A book that describes an 18-month-long ritual so intense that those who attempted it either disappeared, went mad, or claimed to have gained supernatural powers. Imagine spending a year and a half in complete isolation, speaking only to angels. And if you fail, you don't just lose your mind, you risk summoning demons that can take control of your soul forever. It sounds like a horror movie, but this is real. This is the Book of Abramelin. For centuries, people have tried to unlock its secrets, and what they found will send chills down your spine. But the scariest part, the book still exists. Some believe it holds the key to ultimate power, and others say it's a trap set by forces we can't comprehend. Today, we're diving into the chilling truth behind this forbidden manuscript and the terrifying consequences for those who dare to read it. The story begins in the 1400s with a man named Abraham of Worms, a Jewish scholar and mystic. But unlike other scholars of his time, Abraham wasn't looking for ordinary knowledge. He wanted something much greater, real magic. According to legend, Abraham traveled across Europe, the Middle East, and Egypt, searching for the ultimate truth. He met magicians, alchemists, and religious leaders, but none of them had what he was looking for, until he met Abramelin. Abramelin wasn't just another self-proclaimed sorcerer. He claimed to possess divine knowledge, a method so powerful it could summon angels, command demons, and bend reality to your will. But there was a catch. This wasn't an easy spell or a quick incantation. No, this was a ritual so extreme, so demanding, that very few could complete it. Abraham spent years writing down everything he learned, creating a detailed manuscript meant only for his son. A step-by-step guide to unlocking the greatest power known to man. But here's where things take a terrifying turn. At the heart of the Book of Abramelin lies the most dangerous and demanding ritual ever recorded, the Abramelin operation. If you were crazy enough to attempt it, here's what it demanded. 18 months of total isolation. You must cut yourself off from the outside world. No distractions, no interactions. Daily prayers and invocations, morning, afternoon, and night, reciting ancient chants in a precise order. Strict fasting and purification. You cannot eat meat, drink alcohol, engage in sex, or even have negative thoughts. Absolute devotion to the process. Once you start, there is no turning back. The goal? To summon your holy guardian angel, a divine entity that will grant you unlimited wisdom, insight, and power beyond human comprehension. But here's where things get horrifying. If you fail, if you miss a single step, break concentration, or abandon the ritual, you don't just lose your chance at enlightenment. You risk summoning demons instead. Demons that don't just haunt you, but take control of your soul. The manuscript itself warns, once the process begins, you cannot stop. To do so is to open the door to something you cannot close. And that's exactly what happened to some of the most infamous figures in history. One of the most infamous figures in occult history dared to attempt the Abramelin Ritual, none other than Aleister Crowley. Crowley was not just an ordinary occultist. He was a man obsessed with unlocking hidden knowledge, summoning supernatural forces, and proving that magic was real. He called himself the Great Beast 666 and was feared and revered by followers and critics alike. But in 1899, Crowley embarked on what would become one of the most chilling and disastrous chapters of his life. Determined to complete the Abramelin operation, Crowley searched for the perfect location, a place far from civilization, away from prying eyes, where he could perform the ritual uninterrupted. He found Boleskine House, a large, isolated mansion on the shore of Loch Ness in Scotland. Crowley set everything up meticulously. He prepared a sacred space, where no outside energy could interfere. He gathered ritual tools exactly as described in the Book of Abramelin. He purified himself, followed the strict diet, and adhered to the prayer schedule required for summoning the holy guardian angel. But then, he got distracted. Just months into the 18-month ritual, Crowley was called away to Paris for an urgent matter involving his occult organization, the Golden Dawn. He left, and the ritual was never finished. This was the worst possible mistake. The Book of Abramelin warns that once the ritual begins, it cannot be stopped. To leave it unfinished is to invite disaster, opening a portal that may never be closed. After Crowley left, locals started experiencing terrifying events around Boleskine House. People reported strange figures appearing in the windows, eerie whispers in the hallways, and objects moving on their own. A man living nearby mysteriously went blind after visiting the property. Servants quit suddenly, refusing to speak about what they had seen. Crowley himself later admitted that something went terribly wrong in Boleskine House. Even decades later, after Crowley was gone, the house's dark reputation only grew. In the 1970s, Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page bought Boleskine House, fascinated by its occult history. But even he abandoned the property, saying it had a dark energy that couldn't be explained. And in 2015, the house mysteriously burned to the ground in a fire, one that investigators never fully understood. To this day, many believe that Crowley's unfinished ritual left something behind, a portal that could never be closed. For centuries, religious leaders tried to erase the Book of Abramelin. The Catholic Church banned it, the Jewish community feared it, and governments ordered its destruction. By the 1700s, the book had nearly vanished. But then, a single copy resurfaced. A German translation appeared in the 18th century, and later, a French and English version. But here's the scary part. Some pages were missing, and according to some scholars, those missing pages contained even darker secrets, knowledge so dangerous that it had to be hidden forever. What could be so terrifying that even occultists didn't want it revealed? Some speculate that those lost pages contained forbidden names of demons, spells that could warp reality itself, or even instructions for achieving immortality. But despite efforts to keep it buried, the Book of Abramelin survived, and to this day, some people still attempt the ritual, with chilling results. Despite the warnings, modern occultists have attempted the Abramelin Ritual, and their stories are chilling. One man claimed he started the ritual, but felt an unseen presence watching him constantly. Another said that his house became filled with unexplained noises, whispers, knocks, and footsteps when no one else was there. Some practitioners reported horrific nightmares where shadowy figures stood at the foot of their beds, whispering in a language they couldn't understand. Some abandoned the ritual halfway through, only to experience unshakable bad luck, accidents, and terrifying visions for years after. And almost no one has ever claimed to successfully complete the ritual. Or, if they have, they've never spoken about what happened next. Most people assume that this is just an old myth, but the Book of Abramelin still exists today. You can find translations, you can read the ritual, you can even try it yourself. But if the warnings are true, once you start, you can never go back. Would you be brave enough to attempt it? This was just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to hear about another forbidden book that people say grants supernatural powers, click on this next video here. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're uncovering even more hidden secrets from history every single week. Stay curious, but be careful what you seek.